Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to our Cycle Frontier tips and tricks videos. This video is specifically for beginners, people who are brand new to the game and want to kind of just catch up to speed. I know there's been lots of questions about weapons attachments, inventory management, how many heals should I take? We're going to go over all of that today. A little bit of a backstory about myself. No, if you go look at my YouTube channel, I am not the best Cycle Frontier player. I'm not even the best PvPer. I'm well above average, but it took me a long time to get there. This was my first game on keyboard and mouse, and I fell in love. This is my first game on a PC. I've been playing this nonstop. I have over 600 hours into the game. I have over 1,000 drops. I have died hundreds of times to sweaty chads, okay? I've run the experiments. I have won hundreds of fights against sweaty chads at this point. And honestly, I think I've died to fall damage at least, what is that number, 45 times in the past year. I mean, dude, I am a total bozo. I've made every single mistake. So if you want to avoid some of those mistakes, go ahead and follow. We're going to be doing a YouTube series on tips and tricks for beginners for the Cycle Frontier, so make sure you like and subscribe for more. When managing inventory this season, you need to get one thing through your head. Every single thing you loot, you will need at one point or another. You're going to want to start with at least one stack of every item in the game. So then, with that in mind, how do we really decide what to get rid of? Well, first of all, don't try to get rid of anything that you can't buy, right? So stuff that we loot, we want to try to keep first, right? We might need it. So we're going to want to start off selling some of the basics, right? So we're going to want to sell off basically all of our weak stims, right? We're going to want to sell off, so you're going to want to sell off all of your white equipment. So whether that's your PDW, AR-55, trench gun, regular ammo, stims, things like that right here, all can go. These all at this point cause faction scripts, so lower tier weapons could actually end up being your friend. I'd also recommend holding on to your bolt action. It costs about 6 grand to buy brand new. You're only getting 2 grand out of it. A bolty can be the difference between winning a fight against a Chad or not, especially with this damage output. You can hit someone one time, do 50 damage or 80 damage to the head, and kind of finish them off with one of these things. So the first thing we're gonna do is get rid of these. Get rid of all of our ammo, so we can even sort it, right? So I've gotten rid of that. I'm gonna look at my weapons, right? So this one I'm gonna keep, this one I'm gonna sell, okay? So now I'm going to have about 6 extra spaces, okay? So that's kind of how we go through it. Once we've gone through all the stuff we can sell there, so boom, 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 I can buy all of this stuff, sell an extra stack. We're gonna go bound to our materials. Once we get to our materials, this is how we like to do it. So the one thing you have to remember is that the colors indicate rarity, right? So this stuff is very hard to find. The purple, blue is still very hard. These are all going to be quest items. So are these, but these are much easier to find. We're going to be doing a tips and tricks video where I can show you guys how to do nickel runs, brittle titan ore runs, and just Veltikite runs. So, right, so we're going to focus on using these for money, right? And you'll see here, it's not a lot of money. Right, it's actually about 5k, and that actually put us up a little bit. The reason we're using Osiris first, you're going to want to sell all of your weapons to Osiris first, because you need to reach level 10 with Osiris in order to progress in the quest line, right? So what we're doing here is we're just getting rid of all of our double stacks. I'm very confident that in my next raids I'm going to be able to find more. So next thing we got to look at is our attachments, right, in our weapon selection and our loadouts. Okay, so we're going to tab into our inventory here, and I'll show you guys some of the presets and stuff. So we're going to get the rest of the stuff out of here just so I can have a clean slate to work with you guys for, okay? So you'll see here we have presets this season, right? So this means that whatever you don't have on these weapons, right, this green check mark indicates that it's something we own. So unfortunately, most of the stuff we're not going to have, and if you save your loadout with attachments that you found in raid, it could cause some issues. I know we both know I have a bolty in there, but we don't have a bolty with a purple stock, so it's not allowing us to it's going to make us purchase this again, right? So preset B, this is going to be something again that's more of a PvP loadout. Preset C, you want to make it as cheap as possible. I'm fairly rich, so I'm running green. You're more than welcome to run whites. I would highly recommend running tactical armor. Now for the attachments, you're always going to want one long range and one short range weapon, right? So typically The meta this season is right here. So we have a Manticore, right, with a red dot, a medium muzzle brake that's a 5% overall recoil reduction, 5% vertical recoil reduction for a standard stock, 5% vertical recoil reduction. So we have 10% vertical recoil reduction, and then we have 5% overall recoil reduction, right? So when we look at our attachments, we want to, one, the grip is going to be the biggest difference for an AR as a secondary versus an AR as a primary, right? So we have a 10% targeting time reduction for this tactical rear grip. However, if we come here to Osiris's shop, we can see that we can kind of add some extra stuff to it. So these ergonomics will actually 10% equip time reduction. Just like in Call of Duty, a lot of times, especially when we're dealing with lower tier attachments and lower tier weapons, it is much quicker to switch to your secondary, right? So that is a consideration to have. So if you're using something like a sniper rifle, you might even try something like this quick draw stock, because we don't need to control recoil because it's a bolt action, and this will allow you to pull it out just a little bit quicker. So you can kind of play around with it. What I would recommend is basically the only difference between your primary and your secondary. You want to decrease the equip time reduction. So you want 10% equip time reduction. I'm sure I said that wrong twice. We want to control recoil, things along that, but we definitely want to make sure that we are completely kitted when we get to go. I'll show you guys a couple of the weapons I have and kind of what I've been playing around with, some of these things. For the Manticore, I personally have very terrible eyesight. I'm 30 years old, so I typically will run a 2x. The 2x does have a lot of flinch when you're hit, so I know that the red dot is meta. I do personally prefer the 2x, but that's just me. And this gun is really just for medium, so having a red dot here is fine. If we switched it around, so this is my primary, take that off, and put that on there, which that isn't a bad deal either. I would just equip a ergonomic grip. You do the rest of this so that it's just quicker to pull out. And then the primary would be your 2x. Well, ladies and gents, this brings us to the end of our first episode in this beginner series. If you guys liked it or you think I could improve, just go ahead and leave it in the comments. I am still a pretty fairly new YouTuber here. I'll be doing a full series on this. So again, make sure you like, subscribe, follow for more. We are live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, typically playing the Cycle Frontier while it's fresh, DMZ, Tarkov, that sort of a deal. I love you guys. Thank you guys for checking it out.